Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Family Sedan channel. Look at this headline from the Crypto Basic. Over half of Ripple's transaction volume now go through XRP, says Garlinghouse. So a few things here I want to say even at the outset of the video. First of all, I am going to share with you the rate of growth regarding this particular metric in terms of how much of percent, how much of Ripple net transactions actually utilize XRP. And this is fascinating for, well, no shortage of reasons. It got me thinking back to 2017, back when I jumped into crypto, and how all the XRP haters out there, a lot of them Bitcoin maxi trolls, who I was just becoming acquainted with. Not a fun time, but it is what it is. They exist. They're out there in nature for some reason. They're explaining, of course, look, what financial institution would ever use XRP? The Ripple controlled currency. Crap like all sorts of nonsense like that. It's not even needed. And then they'd say nonsense like, but RippleNet, it exists, it already is in operation, and it works without XRP. The XRP, it's a scam thing, and this or that, and I'm just... And so, before I did any research, I was a blank slate, and I was like, oh, well, this is interesting. I'm going to go ahead and look into this and figure out who the hell's telling the truth and who the hell's lying, because there was a time, once upon a time, yes, even Moon Family Sedan right here, yours truly, even me, I used to be a blank slate. I just wanted to believe whatever the hell was true. And so I'm thinking back to all of this, and I'm looking at the real world adoption, and the rate of growth is staggering. Now, the reason that this matters to me is I've long said, and I firmly believe this, a cryptocurrency that's going to have long-term viability only needs one use case that is adopted. One use case. Now, if you have multiple use cases, multiple people, you can imagine that attracts more attention, more money flowing in, so that's better. But even if there's just one in terms of long-term viability, you got it. And so, yes, we're talking about Ripple here. We're talking about their usage of XRP through on-demand liquidity. And they're just one piece of the puzzle. Fine, I think it's fair to argue that in terms of use cases, theirs is the most well-known. I think that's fair. But that's not the only reason that I'm interested in what's going on with XRP. It's the entirety of the XRP ecosystem. Because there are all sorts of use cases, all sorts of people with all sorts of interesting ideas building stuff. And a lot of these ideas and business models came to light thanks to the SEC v. Ripple case, because some of them filed amicus briefs in support of Ripple. So these are business models that existed that we would not potentially have otherwise known, or at least it would have been widely known. And so there's all these use cases. We see the direction it's going, and I'm aware of this, and I'm sitting here thinking, my gosh, we're in here with less than, like, you and I, okay? We being XRP holders in 2023, we represent substantially less than 1% of the population on the damn planet, and we hold XRP. And there's about 4% of humans on the planet that hold crypto just in general. And it's going to be way, way, way bigger, I firmly believe anyway. It's a big part of my investment thesis, I think it's fair to say. And here we are, and we see this, and over half a decade later after I jumped into crypto, the people that said XRP wasn't needed and wouldn't be used and wouldn't be adopted for Ripple's use case as a bridge currency, they're wrong. Period. Full stop, they are wrong. And that is glorious to see. Now, before sharing additional thoughts on this and specifics, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice. And you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. All right, so into this first piece from the Crypto Basic, and it is absolutely glorious after half a decade being in the space to see that real-world adoption is unfolding, because I firmly believe that, if there's something that's valuable and it seems cheap, I think eventually markets figure that out. I do believe they figure it out. Just like when Amazon had an over 90% crash, well, there was clearly something there and people paying attention. Well, they're like, this is an incredible opportunity. It's the same type of thought process when it comes to this. So the piece reads as follows. Ripple Chief Executive Officer Brad Garlinghouse has asserted that over half of the transaction volume the company processes via its various payment rails now go through XRP. The Ripple chief said this in a recent fireside chat on CNBC's Tech Transformers at Davos. For context, Garlinghouse made this claim as he explained that the blockchain-focused payments company continued to grow abroad despite legal troubles at home. The Ripple chief pointed out that over 95% of the firm's customers signed in the aftermath of the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission lawsuit are outside of the United States. According to Garlinghouse, Ripple is continuing to see growth in this regard. And so I just have to pause to I'll bask in the glow of that, because how many people said that XRP was useless, it was going to go to zero in the weeks following the filing of the lawsuit by the SEC against Ripple? How many said that? Rand Neuner comes to mind. Oh, I bet it'll be out of the top 10 before the end of the year. Oh, okay, Rand Neuner. Because reasons, got it. Except for the rest of the world just doesn't freaking give a damn, as it turns out. And they can see that in terms of usefulness and adoption of XRP, it doesn't matter to them what the SEC has to say about it. They're not under the jurisdiction of a government agency of a different country. And the vast majority of trading, even back then, 90 to 95%, was occurring outside of the United States. And so we're surprised that XRP is still wildly successful. And we're surprised that Ripple outside the United States is having wild success and even including adoption of XRP as a bridge currency. We're surprised by it. I'm not surprised by this in the least. Here's a quote from Garlinghouse. Now, well over 95% of customers we've signed in the last 2 years are non-US. Our activity is growing more and more outside the United States, and it's because you have this confusion in the United States. We're now processing billions of dollars of transactions every quarter, end quote. Piece continues. Consequently, Garlinghouse says Ripple now processes billions of dollars every quarter via its cross-border payment rails. Furthermore, according to the Ripple chief, over half of that goes through XRP via its on-demand liquidity service. And so, pause. To be clear, the reason that this matters, now this goes to the true core of my investment thesis, is that utility matters and will win the day. I still say that. I used to say that way more frequently years ago, but I still firmly believe it. That's a great way to characterize my investment thesis. Utility matters and will win the day. And so eventually, if something's useful, people figure it out and the money flows in. It's just that we're in this nascent asset class, even after over half a decade of me being involved here, investing in crypto. People haven't figured it out, but to me, that represents opportunity. We are so freaking early to this. People don't understand crypto, and it is complex. Anyway, piece continues. This product, referencing on-demand liquidity, this product uses XRP as a bridge currency for near-instant cross-border settlements. The Ripple chief says this continues to grow as it opens more payment channels and facilitates exchange across more currency pairs. And he said, quote, "We're now processing billions of dollars of transactions every quarter, and well over half of our total transaction volume, because we do have a fiat and XRP enabled product called on-demand liquidity, over half of all our transactions go through XRP. We're continuing to sign more contracts, more customers. We are growing because we open more corridors, more currency pairs, and so there's kind of a nice series of building," end quote. So folks, as more people come in to crypto, because again, only 4% of humans roughly hold crypto today, as that jumps up to 10%, 20%, and eventually over half the world will be using crypto, it seems like an inevitability to me. The amount of money flowing in, and people, even if people just want to diversify for speculative reasons, do you not think a boatload of that's going to come to XRP in an increasing fashion? Based on real world, you don't think that stuff like this is going to matter? I think it's the totality of the ecosystem, not just Ripple, of course, the totality of the ecosystem, but this is important. And this is one thing. And it is big. And I am counting on this. Everything. Again, and I'm saying the totality of the ecosystem, not just Ripple. A hell of a time to be alive. I feel like this every day, though. I literally do. I'm sorry if I say too much. I feel like the last, 2, 3, 4 days, whatever it is, I've said a hell of a time. But I mean that. I'm basking in the glow of all this. It's unreal that we get to see this. Now, to prove the point that we're heading in the right direction, but not just heading in the right direction, but at an exponential clip, take a look at this. How about a little stroll down memory lane? Here's an article from Crypto Globe from August 20th of 2020, over 2 years ago. Ripple's SVP of product. Almost 20% of RippleNet transactions use XRP-powered on-demand liquidity. And I don't want to read the article. Let's just cover, this is the tweet that they were talking about here, is in a thread. And I actually covered this at the time. And Ashish Burla, he's no longer with Ripple as an employee, but he did join their board of directors, so I assume he's still with them. I haven't heard any news to the contrary. But anyway, he was in charge of this at the time, August of 2020, and here's what he said. It's on your screen, and he shared this chart. Blockchain isn't just a technology with potential, it's actually being used. For Ripple, our on-demand liquidity product using XRP as a bridge currency accounts for nearly a fifth of all transactions on RippleNet. Now, look, I remember talking about that back then and being excited. I was like, wow, it's up to 20%? Because the idea behind this is, you come in, you join RippleNet because it's a better product in terms of the messaging system compared to Swift. But then there's this other option that's not mandatory. It's an option. You can utilize XRP as a bridge currency where it's available if there's sufficient liquidity. And if it's a useful product, you don't have to twist anybody's arms. They'll just do it on their own eventually, right? And so as you're seeing the maturation of the asset class and it's happening before your very eyes, what the hell do you think's happening? You can see it. It's increasing. You don't have to twist people's arms. Yes, Ripple has a sales force, but they were selling just as hard back then as they are today. Why the increase? It takes a while for new technology to be adopted. But if it's solving real problems for real people, it's resulting in a better customer experience, of course it was always going to be adopted, which is a broad point that I've been making for half a decade now. It's obviously true. It's unfolding. You're paying attention. I guess I'm kind of preaching to the choir, but it's worth reporting on this, that what we expected and thought would happen is happening. It is happening flatly. So that, again, 20% at that point in time. What was the case just a year later? Well, here's Ripple's Insights blog, October 29th, 2021. So just a little over a year later. On-demand liquidity sees record growth and traction in 2021. And they note, among other things, that on-demand liquidity transactions, just a little over a year later, 25% now of total dollar value across the network. So in a little over a year, it went from 20% to 25%. That's fine. It sounds like a modest increase, but hey, heading in the right direction for sure. But things eventually go, adoption-wise, at an exponential clip. I mean, frequently when it comes to technology, that is what happens, right? So again, from 20% to 25%, and then go fast forward now a little over a year, because again, as I record this, January 2023. So it's, what did I say? This was October? This is October, right? Yeah, okay, yeah, the end of October. So then go another 15 months later, so barely over a year later, we're now at over 50%. Now, folks, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out that this is going in the right direction, okay? And so all the little Bitcoin maxi trolls living in their mom's basements eating Hot Pockets, I don't care what the hell they have to say. They don't know what they're talking about. They just, for illogical, emotional reasons, I mean, they seem like a damn cult to me. But they were wrong. It could not be more obvious they were wrong, and here we are. So enjoy it. I say just enjoy it. It's good stuff here, folks. So what do you think if we fast forward another year? Another 2 years? What's that going to look like? Where do you think money's going to flow increasingly as more and more people jump into the crypto space? Do you think they're going to park their stuff in, their money in stuff that maybe it'll be a use case? I mean, some of it, sure, because it's speculative. But do you think that there's going to be a place for a cryptocurrency that looks like it's probably not going away because all sorts of entities, including Ripple, are using it and it's increasingly being adopted? Don't you think that might make people more confident to invest in it? I think the answer is yes. I am not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the Moon Family Sedan.